Hi guys and welcome to my channel. This is Matt Daniels and today we are going to be talking about a very important topic of how the church has robbed individuals of a lot of blessings and prosperity and progress because of telling them a half truth about giving. Right, so last week I did a video about homosexuality, and if you would like to watch the video, do click on my channel and you will find videos where I've spoken about homosexuality and false prophets and whatnot. So if you like my content, please do make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and you are going to be learning a lot as we move on, because this is like years of experience. I'm just joking, you guys. I'm just joking. So yes, today we are speaking about church and we are speaking about giving. And this is a very important topic that is close to my heart because this hits me personally. Have been moments where God spoke to me directly and made me change my mind in a way that I never imagined I could ever find myself changing my mind before. So I suggest that you watch this video from the beginning up until the end, because you don't want to miss like important things that I might say that God has like showed me in my journey, right? Yeah, in my journey. So you don't want to miss that. So I suggest that you watch this video up until the end. Like, you don't have to be looking at me. You can just put the video on your car, you can put it on top of your desk and listen to the video as you do other things. But I swear to you, one day you are going to come back into this video and you are going to post your testimony down here because of what I'm going to tell you today with regards to giving. You will come back and you will say, Matt, you are right. We tried it and it works. Now, for years, the church has been selfish because the church has conditioned people to think that giving is only money. And the church does this because the church needs money in order for it to exist. I mean, the church needs, when I say exist, I don't mean like exist. I mean, in order for it to function, like in order for the buildings to be built, in order for the pastor to be paid, in order for things to move, it needs money, right? So that has channeled the church to take a wrong road in terms of how it teaches people when it comes to giving. When it comes to giving, people are taught to give money. People are taught to give offering, to give their last cent. They're told to be a cheerful giver. How do you cheerfully give your last 100 rand? Tell me. And therefore, if you come with something else as different to money, because it does not provide for those needs that I've just mentioned right now, you therefore are not relevant to the church, and it therefore becomes not relevant for the church to groom you in a giving that will benefit you but not it. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that church is focused on itself. It's focused on the pastor. It's focused on those kind of things. Whereas church is not about the pastor. Church is an organization. It's a holistic organization. Church is a family, and it belongs to everyone that is inside of the church. The Bible says, bring your tithes so that they can be planted to eat in the church. For who? For each and every single person that is in the church. Therefore, we need to do our best to fight against an organization or a church that wants to satisfy itself and the pastor only and neglect everyone else in the church, because everyone else in the church, the poor, the lame, the homeless, the widows, are supposed to benefit from the money that is in the church, from everything that's in the church. Now, if we are looking at all those organizations holistically, it means now we are going to consider other forms of giving rather than only with money. Right? And for it means if there are hungry people in the church, then I can bring food into the church. I can bring things from my field and give into the church and still partake of the blessings. I can bring soap inside of the church because someone in the church does not have soap. I can bring clothes in the church because someone in the church does not have clothes. That is looking at the church as an organization. But when we look at the church as something that is only focused on certain areas which God might not really be focused on, that is where we miss the bigger picture and we miss the point and we miss being blessed, because we're not looking at this whole thing as a unit. We are looking at individuals and building. I mean, even build. How long are we supposed to build the church where else people are hungry in the church? Building of the church structure must come to a standstill if there are people in the church who have needs, who don't have food. but Jesus would preach on the streets, but he would make sure that people are always fed. I mean, now, one of the biggest problems, and that also led to this, is because people think that when they give into the church, they are giving directly to God. Is why someone can take their whole salary and give it into the church, whereas their neighbor doesn't have maize meal. Because in church, I get it, they're giving to God directly. So there's no need for why give to your neighbor when you can just go to the Almighty. And that's the mentality that we have as Christians, right? Because you can pass by houses, like you can walk a distance and pass by houses where you can see that there's no food here, the children are stranded, there's no clothes, and you can take a lump sum of money and give it to a church that is thriving to build a fancy church building, whereas people are going hungry and sleeping without food in their stomachs. You know what I mean? Because we think we're giving directly to God, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Right? Because the Bible says, don't you know that if you lend or you give to the poor, you are lending to God? You understand? So, right? So it means, therefore, God would honor your gift to the poor than he would to any thriving organization that does not have God's best interests at heart. Now, this principle is the reason why a lot of believers have not been able to partake of the blessings of the Lord. Like I said, if you have 100,000 rand and I have 100,000 rand, you give your 50,000 to the church and I take 100 rand from my salary, the 100,000 rand that I've gotten, and I give it to someone that is poor, that does not have food to eat, or I give it to some child that does not have a shirt to wear to work. Who's going to be more blessed? You who has given 50,000 rand to the thriving church, or me who has given that 100 rand to someone who's poor? Here's what the church is telling you that you need to understand. Here's what the church does not understand. Church of God does not understand that by informing you and by teaching you that giving will bring you blessings, by teaching you how to give to the poor, not only is it going to bring more members into the church, but it's also going to bring more blessings into the people that are in the church. When you are givers, God is going to bless you. That is what the Bible says. Give and it shall be given to you. Right? It's clear that giving isn't only always about money. You give what you have. You give what you have. So it's a very big problem, very big issue, and a very big concern, because the Bible says give, right? It says give, and so that there can be plenty to eat in the house of God, But then instead of there being plenty to eat in the house of God, there are plenty of hungry people in the house of God. There are hungry ushers in the church of God. There are hungry instrumentalists in the church of God. There are hungry worshippers. There are hungry ushers. There are hungry cookers. There are hungry cleaners in the house of God. Whereas the church is able to provide for those needs, but it's not. The church can hire a pastor to come from somewhere and pay them 100,000, whereas there are people in the church of God, who are serving their heart out into the house of God, but then they're not being recognized, they're not being helped in any way. The church can hire a musician and pay them thousands of rands, whereas there are students inside of those worship teams who don't know where their fees are going to come from, who don't know where their next meal is going to come from. You understand? Now, church don't care. And that is not the character of Jesus. Jesus was not like that. Jesus was like, hey, these people are hungry, and because these people are following me, that's the kind of mentality Jesus had. I have to provide for these people because these people are in here. So basically, we are not supposed to go into church and come out hungry unless we want to. That's the kind of church that Christ was about. If we go into the church has to provide food for everyone that's there. You must not go hungry. But people sleep hungry. They go into church and then they leave church hungry. They even leave church broken. Church has become something that is just far apart from Jesus. That is far, far different from Jesus, and of which it's completely and totally wrong. Now, the other day I was watching a show by Bonang. And as I was watching this show by Bonang, what she does is she gives bursaries to, I don't know if it's 2 or 10 students. And I need you to understand that might not be 10% of what she makes, the money that she spends on those children. But the impact that she's making in those lives of those children, It's amazing. Those children, when they sleep, they're like bonang. When they're walking, they're like bonang. Every time they open their mouths, they are proud of bonang. They're bonang. They're speaking blessings over her life, over and over and over again. There's no way Bonang is going to fall. She's going to be one of those celebrities who's going to rise up above, change it, because she knows the principle of giving. Because giving will keep you on top. It's not character. Listen, Bonang is a hard worker. I need you to understand. So are many other celebrities that fell down on their knees. We're hard workers. You understand? It's not about the hard work. It's about the sacrifice, the giving. If you give, it will be given to you. Multiplied, shaken together, running over in good measure. You might think you're giving a little bit, but the person that you are giving it to matters as well. Because your little bit, your crumbs, when they get into someone's table and they're tiny, it's going to make a whole lot of difference. So it's not always measured by where it comes from. Sometimes it's measured by where it reaches. You understand? Your 1,000 rand might not be anything to you if you're earning millions. But if it gets to someone who has an empty stomach, someone who does not know where their next meal is going to come from, that 1,000 rand is going to be a life changer. It's going to be like $1 million into their account. You understand? And it's going to be better than someone who did not give right. You understand? So that is when we speak about giving. So now I want us to speak about the types of giving. I want to speak about the types of giving. Now the Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you. What do you give? Everything that you have. You know, I want you to remove your mind from thinking that giving is just money. Giving is not money. You can give with your hands. You can give with your mouth. You can give with your ears. You can give with your body. You can give with your feet. Right? Now, let me break that down a little bit to you. There could be a mother in your community who is sick and can't clean for herself. Imagine the blessings that she could speak over your life just for you to go into her house and clean her house. Or maybe do some laundry for her. Or wash her dishes. You might not have money, but you have hands. And you can give with your hands. And God will bless you, I swear. You might not have money, but that mom might have like a garden that's just messed up. You can go and clean the garden for her. And if she speaks blessing over your life, you are going to be blessed. You understand? Now, you might not have money, but you might be a lawyer. You might be a lawyer and there is someone who is in the brink of divorce and their husband is about to rip them up of everything because they don't have a lawyer. And if you go and you give, you might not have money, but giving your services is far worth than money. Because if your services are 2,000 rand and she needs help worth 10,000 rand, you have indirectly given her 10,000 rand, you know, and God will bless you. That is how giving works. I have a makeup business. That is why I ended up saying anyone that wants to learn how to do makeup can come and I will teach them how to do makeup for free. You know, because I know that when I give grace unto other people, grace will also be given unto me. You understand? When I help other people will also help me. When I refer other people to other people will refer other people to me. When I speak well of other people will speak well of me. You know, when I give other people ideas, other people will give me ideas. You understand? That is how giving is. And you must remember that when you give little ideas, God says running together, it's shaken together, running over, multiplied in good measure, will it be brought back to you. That is the principle of giving. That is how giving works. You understand? You are going to give and it's going to look like it's a little bit, you know, start with a little bit. Start with a dress. It doesn't have to be new. You know, you remove yourself from the mentality that giving has to be new. The dress might not be significant to you, but to someone who does not have anything, that dress is going to make their lives brighter than you could ever have imagined. Now, those are the type of giving that I want. Give with your career. You could be a psychologist and there could be someone out there who just needs help psychologically. They need your support. You know, when you give your services, it's equal to giving them an amount of money that you charge for your services. You understand what I mean? So that is what giving is about. Now, growing up, I was never a giver. It was just not my thing. You know, it was not my gift. That's what I used to say. You know, giving was not. I just got to a point where I realized, oh no, man, giving must be a gift. It must be a gift. There must be people who are just called to give. And I am not that person. You know, and I think this started because of my sister. My sister Tess. My sister is a giver. I remember when we were in university, our mother used to give us 1,000 rand. And when she gave us that 1,000 rand, we had to make it work. We had to buy books. We have to buy clothes if ever we want clothes. If we ever want to fix our hair. I can't really mention fixing our hair because with our hair, we used to do our hair per trimester. Yeah, per trimester. When school closes, we know we're going home to change the hairstyle, then come back to school with a new hairstyle until school closes again. So a hairstyle was not really included in the 1,000 rand, but everything else, books, food, snacks, anything that we'd ever want was included in that 1,000 rand. So we had to make it work. So what I would do is I had to find means of making money so that my sister and I can be able to survive, so that whenever we run out of bread and we run out of food or something, we don't have to bother our parents at home. So what we did, I started to learn how to do hair. And then when I started to learn how to do hair, my sister was not interested in hair things, but she also learned how to look. Right. So after learning how to do hair, I would plait people's hair, and sometimes I would make 100 rand, and then I'll take the 100 rand and buy myself a shirt. And then after buying myself a shirt, I'll take the 100 rand when I plait another person and give it to my sister to buy a shirt. And my sister would take that 100 rand and she'd give it in church. When there's like a special giving for like people that are poor or something, she'd take that 100 rand, she'd give it to church. And it would bother me, why is she doing this? Because it would mean, now the next month or the next client that I have to give her the 100 rand again, because I couldn't look good and my sister, and I should not look good just because she decided to give. You know what I mean? So I would like, okay, but then I'd have to do it. I'd have to give it to her again. So it amazed me how she actually did that, like so easy. How it was just so easy for her to do it. Like she like with like it was hassle free. It was not a struggle. It was just something that she did, you know, freely. And I decided, you know what, it has to be a gift. It has to be a gift. There has to be people that are called for this, because I'm not called for this. I'm not called for this. I'm not called for this. And then I accepted, you know what, I'm not a giver. It's a gift to those who have been called for this. And God is not going to penalize me for something that He did not give me. For years, I ran with that theory of thinking that I'm not a giver. I'm not a giver. And recently, it started a bit by bit where God just touched my heart, you know, and with just as little as 100 rand. And then like, you know that if you take 100 rand and you give it to someone who doesn't have, it's gonna make a difference, and it's gonna change with 100 rand. God just out of the blue, there was just something inside of me that told me when I get paid, I must give, even if it's just 100 rand to someone, anyone on my that I know, I must just give it to. And then for a while I didn't entertain the thought, but then one day I decided, no man, let me do this. And the first time I did it, I saw the hand of God in my life. I saw the hand of God in my life. And when I say I saw the hand of God in my life, I saw the hand of God in my life. And I'm telling you, giving is an antidepressant. If you do not have peace in your life, God will give you peace. It's an antidepressant. That's giving. Giving will anti-depress you. Giving will change your life. Giving will give you happiness. It will give you peace. Right? So I did it for the first time, and then I did it again. I didn't start long ago, but I wanted to try it out to see, does it really work? It does work. I didn't give a lot. I don't want to lie to you. I didn't give a lot. I gave a little bit, you know, but I gave it to someone that I know needs the money. I gave to someone that I know needs what I'm giving to them. You know, sometimes it could be a good word. Call someone and encourage them sometimes. You know, you could change their life. Just like Yudia. Yudia would call me in the moments where I am at my lowest in life. She would call me in moments where I'm at my lowest, and she'd give me a word of encouragement. And that would mean so much to me. It would mean so much to me, more than anything. And it would just change my life and everything, my surrounding, my atmosphere, and, you know, just make everything better. So it could be that. Just do anything you can to touch someone's life. And I swear to God, your life will never be the same again. So do you want peace? Give people peace. You know, sometimes sometimes you feel like you don't have peace in your life. You must ask yourself, are there not people around you that you are making whose lives you are making, you know, to be disruptive. Sometimes you think you don't have happiness. Are there not people around you whom you are perhaps making unhappy? You know, sometimes you feel like, why are people so bitter towards me? Are you not bitter yourself? Because you must remember, whatever that you give shall be given back to you, multiplied, shaken together, running over. So what are you giving? What are you giving? Are you giving negativity? Maybe the negativity inside of your life is just a direct reflection of what you're putting up into the universe. You know, so just take a look at yourself sometimes. Take a look, what are you giving out? You know, so giving, it doesn't have to be something big. Start with something small. Start with 100 rand. Just give it to someone that needs it, and then give 200 rand, as much as you possibly can. Give with a lift. Maybe it's someone at your job who's just started at, you know, a new job. Give them a lift. Give them a ride to work. You know, anything. You can do anything to touch and to change someone's life. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and God bless you richly.